healing, self-care,
mental health,
laugh, joy,
women.
real black girl shit. To be whole is to be healed. Black girl joy, healing journey. Black woman be whole.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. We are Black Women Be Whole. Where y'all at? Where y'all at?
What?
I'm
We
here.
here.
Woo.
Woo, woo, woo.
Black women working on being whole. I'm kind of tired of working on being whole, but that's a whole nother
All
episode.
right, we're gonna have to
You
put that
know,
down. Maybe we're gonna have to work on something else, being a villain or some shit. That's what I'm ready to be.
Okay.
I'm working on being a villain in somebody's story. What? No.
What the hell going on here?
But yeah, y'all, we working on being whole. Why? Because we want y'all to be out there working on being whole too. So we are on episode 13. Oh yeah, oh yeah. How many
Almost
episodes we got for
there.
the season,
Almost to the
y'all?
end of the road, baby.
One more again. One more.
One more. Look at y'all. We out here being consistent. I hope y'all see it. That's all I want to say. I'm not gonna say no more. But I hope y'all see it. I hope y'all feel it. We had a conversation, y'all. We was like, we're gonna do better. And we out here being consistent. That's what we doing. So
Yeah.
today our episode is entitled More Than Vibes. What does it take to be in a real relationship? Ooh. Because y'all, some of y'all not
Mm.
ready. Some of y'all not ready. That's why I thought it's time for us to talk about this. This is the
They
type of
not ready
stuff.
to be a friend, a lover, a family member, nothing. Not
Right. And we're trying to talk about all the relationships. So I want to keep it clear. I listen in my therapy sessions, this has been coming up. This has been coming up in my own life. So I was like, you know what? I'm bringing it to the podcast. So in this episode, we are deep diving into the question, am I really ready to be in a relationship? So as you guys are listening to this episode, that's what I want y'all to be thinking about. Okay. So
Okay.
we got to do a check-in, but I'm doing a check-in a little differently this week because I'm not kind of asking what y'all working on, what y'all doing. I'm going straight into the relationship part, right? So since we talk about relationships, I got like a four-part question, but here I go. Who was your first
mm-mm.
friend? What was their name? Do you still talk to them? And what do you remember most about them? Whoever's jumping in,
Mm.
jump in. Who was that
I'm gonna
first
take
friend?
that.
All right.
My first friend is my cousin. I think in my family, right, like big family, your cousins are your first friends up until like the age of 5 or 6. Like it was just family. So my first friend is my cousin Tookie. She's a year younger than me. And yes, we still talk. We
Duh.
hop on the calls, the text messages, just saw her in Charlotte, so we're still connected, which I think is nice because I think for a lot of, people, the cousins are your first friends, right? I think that's a story of people who have a lot of aunts and uncles and things or big families. So I think what's interesting, what I remember the most about her is that she reminded me of this. She was like, you always got us in trouble because you would be like, let's go do this or let's go do that. And I would follow you because you're my big cousin and we would get in trouble because of you. So I really remember her just going along with all my little things that I suggested and so we got in trouble a lot because of me. And she would be like, I told you that we shouldn't do that. Well, shit, we did it. What they gonna do now? So I was definitely rabble rousing and troublemaking at a very early age. So
Real
she
early.
had me laughing, like, damn, you used to really get us in trouble. And it was like, why? Let's go do shit. Like, what's somebody gonna say? So, but she's mostly quiet to like my loud. So I think it was just a really interesting, contrast in how we grew up and also how people responded to us. Because, in my family, the quiet, good one, they get all the accolades and the attention. The ones that's a little bad or, don't listen, we the wild ones. So I think, I remember a lot of like me like, let's go do stuff and let's just, what do you think about doing this? And her saying yes and then being mad when we got in trouble. Hey, Toogie.
She enjoyed it when y'all was doing it. But then she was
Right,
like, it was your fault, Kim.
right. Like the punishment and all the other stuff. Like, man, damn, okay. Well, yeah, it was me. I wasn't mad about it. I had a good time. That's what I remember.
First friend. I was a firstborn, so immediate friends were not accessible. My sister wasn't born until 2 years later, and my cousins lived further away. But I remember very vividly Darzay and Lamont. Those are my
Come on,
homies in
Darzay.
neighborhood nursery school. Yeah, unfortunately, Darzay got killed in 2015.
Oh my
So,
goodness, Tarzay.
no, because it was because they crossed what Dusty and them crossed. Da, da, da. So it was 2011 when that happened. So yeah, it was tough. And I actually had saw him before he ended up passing, and it was so interesting because I believe like everything happens for a reason. I saw him like the week before randomly, just like walking, and I was like, oh my God, it's so good to see you. And then like the next week he had passed away. So obviously we're not like in physical communication. But Lamont, I don't talk to Lamont anymore either. But Lamont is like a principal at a school now. But I do remember them because they were just like we were our little homies. We were like the little black. I mean, it was a bunch of us. It was like Darzay, Lamont, LaShawna, all in neighborhood nursery school. Shout out to Snack Time. They were definitely one of those weird schools that did like cookies and juice. It was, a vibe. They were really cool. They were homies, core memories. And like our parents were like friends, so I think that that was also part of like why we were friends. But those are my first memories of like friendship of people my age. Because again, firstborn, so my first friends were like my mom and dad because it was just the three of us kicking it.
Absolutely.
So yeah, definitely them.
I think it's funny because I'm one of seven. So I tell my brother, he's 2 years older than me, that he's my first friend. But I don't really think so. Because I mean, I think I don't really remember us playing together like that until I was older. So I'm gonna go with like one of my kindergarten friends because I think they were with me because they liked me. He was with me because he had to. So I'm gonna stop calling him my friend.
Didn't have a choice.
Right, he didn't have a choice. I'm gonna go with the people who actually had a choice and chose me. So I think I'm gonna go with my friend Tara. Tara and I went to elementary school together, and she lived in Manhattanville Projects in Harlem. And the thing that was cool about Tara is that she had a big brother, and for some reason, my big sister and her big brother kind of liked each other, so it was either easier for us to hang out, and my mom used to let me spend the night at her house, and I didn't really get to spend the night with nobody else, so I don't know why my mom trusted her, because her mom was like a bartender, and her mom on weekends would like be at the bar till like 4 in the morning, and she would just be leaving us in the house, but my mother had no idea that all this was going on.
Y'all like free reign. We free range kids up in here.
And it's the 90s. Well, is it? It might be the 80s.
The
Oh
80s. Come
Lord.
on now.
It's the early 90s.
Woo.
So
How's
we
it the
didn't
early
even have a house.
90s? If you was five, well, how old were you?
All right. So when we were hanging out, I mean about 10. So okay, that's the late 80s. Come on, Kim,
Yes.
thanks. Tell everybody how old I am, Kim.
The math ain't mathing though. I'm
Kim
like, what are we
said
talking
when?
about? Because you mentioned
It's my
kindergarten.
story.
I
Okay.
was like, but you was
Not
5 in
revisionist
the 90s?
history.
We lasted until 6th grade, okay? So like let me
Okay.
just go ahead.
But y'all was friends in kindergarten. That's why I was confused. I'm like, okay, she 5. All right, I get that.
You just
Damn.
told everybody how old I was. Thank you for outing me in my story. You just couldn't let me tell my story, right?
It didn't make sense. It
She said,
didn't
now
make
wait a
sense.
minute.
How did we go to
Carry the
college
one.
together, high school together, if that was your timeline? Where is it happening?
So
Sorry.
Tara was my bestie, okay? And we would have to babysit her brothers and sisters because her mom was a barmaid and she was out all night. And my mother didn't know that I was 12 and I was, well, between 10 and
Wait,
12
now how old were
babysitting.
you?
Why she keep getting older? What is happening?
I
Why
told you
are
that
you
we were
getting older?
friends since kindergarten, okay? We
Okay.
grew
All right.
together.
Okay.
And
All
then
right,
she moved to
math.
Pennsylvania with her aunt.
Not okay, math. Ooh.
So I just want to say I love Tara, okay?
I was like, we're struggling to get out this first section today.
And what I remember
Oh
most
man.
about Tara is that she was also a bit of a rebel rouser. So she wasn't quiet. Me and her were both loud little girls, and we were both tomboys, and we had a good time. And we used to be playing in the grass and doing all types of things that girls don't really do because we were both tomboys. And so I do not still talk to Tara. However, I did see her about 4 years ago at a wedding. We are Facebook friends, so I still get to see her life.
Okay. I love it.
You know what, Kim? You made that opening section really difficult for me. I just want to put it out there to everybody that's listening, okay?
I'm looking at chronological, kind of like a sequential living, and it didn't make sense to me. That's all. What's next? We got
All
out. We made it out.
Now what's next?
right. So we're about to get a deep dive into the big one, relationships. And of course, I'm not just talking about romantic ones. Okay, I think we're gonna break it down, y'all. We talking about friendships, family, and of course, intimate partnerships. Because I feel like in our society, when you talk about relationship, that's the only relationship they seem to acknowledge. However, we know there are other relationships that are just as important. So here's the truth. Relationships are where we learn the most about ourselves, but they also call us out. Let's be clear. They'll show you the areas where you still need to grow, whether it's learning how to communicate better, if you need to set some boundaries, or if you finally need to deal with those trust issues that you've been avoiding. I know some of y'all know what I'm talking about. A lot of us out here are dealing with trust issues. So the big question is, are you really ready to be in a relationship? Are you bringing your best self to the table, or are you expecting someone else to fill in the gaps? And from what I've noticed, that a lot of people aren't bringing their best selves to the table, y'all. A lot of people are hoping they could get away with a little passive aggressive over here, with a lot of unhealthy communication over here. And I don't know how to deal with conflict. We're dealing with a lot of that. So in this episode, I thought, let's keep it real. Like, let's really get to the heart of it. What does it actually take to build a healthy relationship, right? How do friendships set the foundation for deeper connections in our lives? And what do you do when your family drama starts spilling over into every part of your life? Because that happens with a lot of us too, right? We can't deal with the friendships very well. We're not dealing with the family relationships. It's all spilling over. And I think that we got to talk about a bit of like spotting the red flags. Can you set boundaries that actually stick? And are you holding yourself accountable when things get messy? So grab your tea, grab your wine, your water, whatever y'all over there doing. Kick back and vibe with us and come. I think we're just going to try to figure this one out together tonight, right? How are
I
you showing
love
up in
it.
your relationship?
I love it. I love it. I love it. This is gonna be a good topic.
Y'all ready? You know I got the questions. Y'all ready? Y'all got
Let's
some
go.
answers for
Let's
me?
go. Let's go.
So let me be clear. Most people think they're ready for a relationship, but they think that that's just kind of finding the right person. But I believe it's about being the right person. So what does it really take to be in a good relationship? What is it? I guess my question is, what does being ready for a relationship really mean to you? Kim, you're going to start us off. What does being ready for a
Hmm.
relationship really mean?
It's so interesting. I was thinking about this because, and I'm going to take as an example, maybe like a friendship relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think, a lot of the times we bring things that we've experienced with other people into new relationships, and we don't communicate like who we are. We don't communicate like all the things that, like, here are my triggers, here's this, here's that, like, so really understanding who you are as a person, which allows you to help another person understand who you are, because we're both operating off of assumptions, just because we vibe, right? Like, oh my gosh, she's this, she's that, and then you get in some conflict, like, well, bitch, I didn't know you was like that. You didn't ask me. You made an assumption because we was vibing, and now we in conflict.
Mm-hmm.
So I think being ready for a relationship for me means like really understanding, how do I help people understand who I am so that we can be in relationship or community together? Like, how do I help them understand, okay, what are my likes, what are my dislikes? What are my boundaries? What are my things, like if you hit them, like my values, we're gonna blow up because I got the dynamite and the TNT, like about some shit. So
Lord.
that we know, let's not hit those. Let's not, or let's not talk about it if we're at odds with that, or because it's just not going to work. So I think also being open, right? Like, to be ready for a relationship, being open to change and being open to conflict and
Mm-hmm.
resolving it, and being able to, talk things through, and setting my intentions, right? Like, I value this relationship, so if something happens, here's how I'm going to behave, or here's how I'm going to show up, so that it can be salvaged or restored or, kind of fixed. And so I think, just kind of those things are, pop up for me.
I mean, you took
Mhm.
everybody, you took all the good ideas, but okay, that's fine. It's gonna be a little hard coming after you today.
But I actually like to build on it. Like I feel like you gave a really thorough answer. But I think to build on it is like assessing why do you want to be in a relationship with these people, right? Like
Mm.
what is the expectation? What are you hoping for them? Because I think oftentimes people go into relationships with unspoken, like him said, like being clear and articulating your expectations, because people will not be clear with you about their expectations, or I'm trying to word this correctly, impose their vision of what friendship looks on you, right? So for example, I met this person and they immediately were like, "Oh my God, we are going to be friends." That already is alarming to me because I didn't consent to that. Like that always stresses me out.
You're like, what?
Like, right. So I was kind of like, "Oh, like, you cool. Like, you cool. Like, let's figure it out." Because I don't want to say yes and then because I'm a great friend. If you're friends with me in real life, my friends will tell you I'm a wonderful friend. But everybody don't get access because I don't like everybody. So there's that. That's why I'm able to be a good friend because I'm good to certain people, not everybody, because everybody's not deserving. But either way, this person was like, "Oh, like we're friends," and like kept trying to lavish me with gifts and shit like that. And then I had to tell them no. And like it was no because like it was like I mean, it wasn't even a no. It was like a let me get back to you. I'm not 100% sure on, how whether or not I'll be able to show up in the way that you need me to show up. And it
Mm.
was how could you do this? I've been nothing but nice to you. I thought we were friends. And I was like, whoa, 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 bro. Like that's not how friendship works. Sometimes shit comes up. You can express your discontent, but again, you went into this relationship what expecting that my goal was to just be there and do what you want to do at all times. Like that doesn't bode well with me. So just being clear, like him said about expectations in the relationship. What does friendship look like to you? And what is the goal? Is it symbiotic? Is it, y'all just using each other? Like what y'all doing? Because y'all need to also just be clear on that and operate in that in order to make sure that it's healthy and successful. And that goes for platonic, romantic, or, whatever you out here doing.
Mm.
I like that. I think that we're building on this one. I think what I'm gonna add to the build is intimacy. I think that if you are ready for a relationship, then you need to be ready to have conversations about who you are. When I think about intimacy, that's what I think about, right? Like, who am I on an emotional level? Am I ready to talk to you about my life? Am I ready to be open with you? Right? If you're not ready to open up, I don't know if it's best that you be in a relationship with someone because that is generally one of the expectations people have of you. They want to know you more, right? If I want to be in a relationship with you, I want to know you more. Are you ready to allow somebody to know you more? Right? Have you dealt with some of the trust issues that might be a barrier for people to know you more? Are you willing to have a emotional connection with someone? Right? And again, this doesn't have to be intimate partner. This is just a relationship in general. Are you ready to have some mutual understanding? And are you able to trust? So for me, I think those things become really important if you're going to be ready for a relationship. Because I think relationships ask more of you sometimes. And are you ready for someone to ask more of you?
Yeah, buddy.
Because I'm telling you, relationships are going to push you. They're going to push you outside your comfort zone. And I think, are you ready to be pushed outside your comfort zone? Because I think they're
Mm.
definitely going to do that. So I do have some questions. I kind of tried to break it down because I was trying to think through like the different parts of relationships. So like first part I was thinking about is like that foundation of a healthy relationship, right? Like the communication, the respect, the trust. What do you guys think are the must-haves in any relationship for you? Like you can just name one or two things. What is a must-have in that healthy relationship for you?
Clear communication and being direct.
Direct. Come
Please
on,
and
come
thank you.
through.
Cause tell me what you need. I can't help you if I don't know what's going on. Like you beating around the bush. I gotta pull teeth to try to get you to tell me like that's not fun because I don't want to have to play guess the issue. Like that's not I don't
That's
like that.
right.
So tell me what's wrong. I can handle criticism. I can handle the feedback. You don't like when I do this. Okay, what would you rather? Now within reason. Okay, I ain't no dummy. But within reason, we can work on some stuff and adjust because it is compromise and it is a partnership, whether that's friends, whether that's relationship. Like we're in this together. We both should be enjoying it, not just one person.
I love that. I think when that came up for me, the word fun, when you said it, Marquia, I thought
Hmm.
about like we gotta like to do shit. Like
Hmm.
also I think like, all right, let me just say this. I don't like a motherfucker who always got clouds. You're like, damn, everything is fucking terrible. God damn. Like,
Right.
oh, you like every time a motherfucker call, they got something going on. You like,
Mm.
God, what is this? I don't know. So I think just, like an ability to like be able to manage your shit and not have it constantly bleed over into relationships and but also like I want to have fun. Like, hey, do you want to go do this fun thing? Like, let's go. Like, I went out with my friend Iris. Edie's,
Hey,
hi.
Iris.
Um, and we went to this thing called Interrarium, and we were like, we're just gonna be big kids. And she was like, oh my God, I'm so glad we did that. Like, normally we go out and do happy hour, but it's like, let's go do something interesting and fun. We were hopping around a trampoline. We were doing all sorts of fun shit and just like running around. And she was like, God, we need more of that because, we don't get enough of that as adults. But like, she's my, that's my road dog for that. Like, she likes to have fun, as do a lot of other my friends. So I think I'm a joyful person,
Mm.
and so I think being around someone who's constantly having negativity in their life or clouds doesn't really work for me. So there's
Kim
that.
is definitely a joyful
Must
person,
have.
baby.
We're gonna have a good time
You are going to have a good
because
time
life
all
is too
night.
short. And in the
Civil
morning if
civil
you want to
rights
start.
edibles and all.
I told
Civil
somebody
rights,
they look like Coretta
Okay,
Scott
wait.
King.
Okay. So so
not
we went
civil
out one
rights.
night. Sorry, pardon the side quest. We went out one night. And I'm an
Oh
edible girly.
shit.
So I'm gonna bring that. I bring my edibles, I share them with people. My friend then questioned, was like, so how you kidnap people is you just give them gummies and they'll just take them? I mean, but I have a good aura. Like I'm not out here drugging people, so I don't know. But anyway. And also you grown, so you could say no. Don't your mama told you not to take stuff from strangers. If you doing that, that's your business. Either way. So now she took the other friend, she took the edible, and we was in the club and she was asleep.
Listen, it hit
And Kim
everybody
said,
different.
and Kim says she looked like Coretta Scott King and said I gave her civil rights edibles. A
So,
time.
so I think my must-have might be sense of humor because I need somebody with a damn sense of humor. Listen, you gotta be able to laugh at the shit that happens in life. Everything is not gonna always be perfect, yo. You gotta be able
Mm.
to make a freaking joke. We gotta be able to laugh about it because if we can't, that's not healthy for me. Like if you can't laugh at yourself, we can't laugh at each other. We can't just have a good old time. That's not gonna work. And I think the other thing for me is just vulnerability. I need you to be able to share. I don't want to be around a person that you always telling me about everybody else. Like,
Right.
why you not talking about yourself? Like,
Right.
I'm in this friendship to get to know you. Why you keep telling me about this one and that one and this one? So and I'm not going to say it's a red flag because that's not unfair. But for me, I need you to be able to open up. And if I need to, I'll be like, hey, I'm realizing that I don't know enough about you. So, like, can I ask you some more questions and whatever? But for me, a healthy relationship is I need to get to know you. And I'm not going to just be telling all my stories, motherfucker.
Okay.
You need to tell yours, and you better have some good ones too. Because if you don't, I might not want to message you.
Not you
Because
being the ops
okay,
out here
so
just listening.
come on, why you just been listening to me, waiting for me to say something juicy? What you got? So for me, I
Yeah.
think that's where that healthy relationship. So we're gonna move around a little bit. So we want to look at some of the building blocks, right? Like, what do we need to prepare us to be in like relationships? So what's one boundary? Let's talk about boundaries because I think that has to prepare us to be in a relationship. You're gonna have to know how to set one. So what's one boundary you've had to set in a relationship and how did it change the relationship? I think that's a good one.
It sure is. And I do have one. And I think
Okay.
it's a good one, and it's endured to this time, which is
And it's a
really
good
great.
one.
So yeah, so it's about my time, right? Like I went through a phase where it just was like people calling like, "Hey, I need you to come and do this and do that." And it's like, yeah. And I realized that I was just saying yes, and then, I was double dipping, overbooking. And I just was like, "Oh, fuck." So I really, had to tell, Chanel. I was like, "Hey, Chanel." And I've applied it to other people, but it's gone really well with her. I said, "Hey, Chanel, I really need you to not ask me something without asking me to check my calendar first, because
Mm.
I'm not doing well with managing my time. And I want to do
Mm,
things, and you asking me to do it without, asking me can you look at my calendar or to see if I'm free, would be very helpful for, me to say yes to things. So if she wants me to do something, she'll say, "Hey, can you pull out your calendar and tell me if you're free this day? No need to do it right now. I just need to know by this date." So it's endured and it's worked really well, because now you're helping me help you. Because I'm a yes motherfucker. And that's the problem. I say yes to shit and I'm like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna make this work now. I'm gonna go here for 2 hours. I'm gonna go there."
I
So,
love saying yes.
right. That's problematic though, because now I'm running around, I'm tired, and I'm late to everything because shit don't start on time somewhere. Now I'm jammed up. So it's just been very helpful for someone to do the thing I've asked them to do to help move the relationship along. So a boundary around my time was applied,
Hmm.
and then that person now applies it to anything that they want me to do without fail. "Hey, check your calendar. Can you look at it and see if you're free?" Thank you. Don't just say, "Hey, I need you to come." You like, ask me if I'm free.
Mm.
Ask me, because that'll force me to go see if I am.
I love that
No,
it
that's
worked
smart.
out, right? Because sometimes you never know. And I think that that's the fear of setting boundaries with people. We're fearful that someone's going to be mad at us, but that's okay. They'll generally get over it. I think a boundary that I've had to set is I'm not good when people are not nice to me, y'all. And I'm not going to say you need to suck up, none of that, but I don't like when people are passive aggressive and mean to me. I really struggle with that. And I've had to tell people, like, hey, if you have a problem with something that I've done, or I haven't done, just come to me and talk to me about it. Like, don't bring the attitude to me. Like, don't bring the smoke to me first. That doesn't work. And I had to tell a friend that, and I don't know if they're doing well with it, because I think that my friend just brings smoke to everybody,
Mm.
and that's why they don't have a lot of friends anymore, because they keep bringing smoke to everybody, and other people are like, "Fuck this, I'm good." Right? And I'm trying to continue to sit in it with them, but I'm really not sure how much longer I can sit in it, because they really struggle with being passive aggressive. So I've set the boundary. I'm trying to maintain it, but it's not going well. And so I don't know if it's changed the relationship. For me, it has. I don't feel like I'm as all in as I have been, and I really love this person. But I think it goes back to my childhood. Like, my parents weren't, they were nice to me. Like, they weren't mean. I've never had people really be mean to me. So when it happened, it just really throws me off, and it makes me feel horrible, actually. So I'm at the point where I'm just not sure where the relationship is gonna go. But that's a boundary, like, that I've had to set around, like, the way people treat me.
Mm.
Good one.
Yeah.
Let's see. My boundary, I just need people to understand that sometimes I need space. And
Okay.
I think that that's a thing that people don't understand. I'm an internal processor. If you're trying to force me to talk about something when I'm not ready to talk about it, your feelings are going to get hurt. Because I've probably already told you, like, I'm not ready to talk about it. Right? Like, I don't want to do it. And when I need my space, I need my space. And like, it gets weird for other people because when I am all in or when I am feeling like 100% myself, everybody's like, "Oh my God, I love being around you." But one, like, I don't exist for your entertainment. No shade. Like, I don't.
Come on.
And two, like, I am a human person and I have human emotions and human things. And like sometimes I cannot be everything to everyone. And I just need to be left alone to couch slash bed rot and do what I need to do by myself. Like, it does not mean I don't care about you. It doesn't mean I don't love you. It just means I need space. And like, I usually tell people, like, I'm just not in the mood to talk. And then when you do that, like, "Oh, but just tell me." What the fuck did I just say? What did I just say? I asked you not to do that. And then you're gonna be mad when I am prickly. because I told
I
you I
like
needed
that.
my
Prickly.
moment. Like, I don't like to live in the prickly space, but we can if we must. So just like that's my main thing. Like if I say like, hey, I need a minute, hey, I'm not in the mood, like I can handle it. Hey, just checking in. How are you doing? I appreciate those. I will respond and say thank you. I appreciate it. But like don't badger me and try to get me to talk to you if I said I'm not in the mood. Damn it.
Yeah, I
And I
love
think
that.
people want to push on that one a lot. Because I
Right.
think
Like, oh, but
people
just
want
tell me I'm
to
just trying to be there for you. I
people want to
don't
make
want
you
that.
feel better. Yes. And people got to know where the line is, right? Like I don't want
Right.
to talk about it. How do we respect that from a person?
And because you want to make me feel better, it's because you don't
Hmm.
like the fact that I'm not giving you what you want. That's what you want. You want me to be able to be the thing that you want. You want me to feel better so that you can feel whatever you usually feel for me. Sometimes I'm just not able to give that to you, boo. That's all.
Mm.
I love
People
that.
are really tied up in emotions around someone, you know, being present or not. You're like, it's not
Hmm.
about you.
Right.
It's not.
And I'll always, but my only thing is I will always communicate because I don't believe in like just disappearing on people because that does cause people stress. And like, and in
Hmm.
this day and age, you don't know. So just let me know you need a day. I can give you that. Like, and I do that, and I will do that for people. But like the people that do disappear and don't say nothing, I will get on your ass about that because are you dead? Like, what's going on? Like, don't do that. So, yes.
Okay.
Mm.
We bringing up some real good stuff now. Like I think that's that piece of the needs of others, right? Like I need to feel good, so I need you to feel good, so I can
Right.
feel good. Because if you don't feel good, I don't feel good. Now I'm mad. Well, no, I shouldn't
Right.
control how you feel,
Right.
right? So I feel like that's that work that people have to do on themselves, right? If they're going to be in relationships, so that they won't allow something like that to impact them negatively, right?
Right.
Because you've set a boundary about what you need.
Right. But I think also other people haven't had those boundaries modeled for them. Like if something
Of
was
Hmm.
wrong
not.
with you growing up, no motherfuckers would be relentless until you tell them. You're
Absolutely.
like,
What's wrong? Something's clearly
damn.
wrong. Something wrong. 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 Like, it's too much.
You like, let a bitch be. I want to read a book. I'll be better. Give me a moment.
Right.
And then if you
Right.
crying, I'll give you something to cry about. Wait a
Right. Now,
minute,
wait a
hold
minute.
on.
I'm already
Go depress
crying. I
them dishes. You
don't.
like, what? Depress the
I'm
dishes.
sad. Do you know how many people are sad? Like, wait, I don't.
Yeah, you
Not me
can't
depressing the
win.
dishes. What does that even mean?
But
Crazy.
I think this is important because I don't think we could talk about relationships unless we talk about how our family relationships have shaped
Mhm.
us, right? Because that's a huge piece of who we are, how we got here, right? And how we interact with other people. So for y'all, how have your family dynamics kind of influenced the way you approach relationships?
I actually had a conversation with someone today about
Look at that.
when they're upset to not just go like to not just disappear. And
Mm.
also, in you disappearing, don't come back and act like everything is okay. Because in black families, there's never really that apology. It's kind of like
Ooh.
it's up and it's stuck. Everyone's on edge. And
We're gonna act like
then
that shit didn't
we're at
happen
dinner. And it's
tomorrow.
like,
They be
wait,
like,
like,
you want
no.
something to eat? No, motherfucker. I didn't hear sorry.
What's wrong with you? That shit just happened an hour ago. You not over yet?
Right.
No, it was an hour. It was a fucking hour. Okay.
Right. It was actually it was very recent. So I've noticed in adulthood, like that's just a thing. Like we're gonna address the elephant in the room
Come on.
because we need to get past the thing so that we don't have to deal with the thing time and time again, right? Like I think that that's the part that people forget in the conflict resolution, the heavy on the resolution piece. We need to resolve the conflict
They
so
just have
we
me on the
don't.
conflict.
Right. No, they're literally like people are like, no, like we're just beefing. And it's like, but like we don't have to continue. And like we don't have to continue on the same thing if we like talk through the thing and make progress to avoid the thing in the future. It is possible. So,
It
Hmm.
is. It's
Yeah.
possible.
I'm going to take intimate relationships as an example because I think for me, I don't know, did I talk about this? But I don't think I did. So, when I was in my 20s, I was estranged from my father. So when I was in my 20s, when I graduated college, we reconnected. And I asked my father one time, like, like, why did you leave? And he was like, well, it was at a time when all of the husbands or whatever, they died, they were murdered. Like shit was crazy. And he said, I felt like your family was cursed and
Oh
Damn.
I had to
shit.
leave. And I was like,
Yo, he kept it
sir, what?
real.
He
He
said,
wait,
I
at
felt
least
like
he
I was
waited until you
next.
was in your 20s, yo. He's like,
But
I
he
can't tell you this
disappeared
shit
a
at
long time
14.
before that.
I can't tell
You
you
should
this
have
at
told me that
14.
shit when I was younger. Because I think, like, how I approach relationships with men is really based on, like, my father not being there and me being mad at him. And also how the women treat the men in my relationships versus the girls. I got some blatant anger because them motherfuckers is princes and we the paupers, at
Mm.
this
Ooh.
motherfucking stage. So I think the way that I've seen, like, my mother, my aunts be in relationships, post that, it's just been very interesting and weird to say the least, because how I approach relationships is kind of like I don't, because one minute they're there, the next minute they're not. And you're like, well, what the fuck is going on? Nobody's saying anything. So I think I had to come up with it on my own because it just wasn't kind of like very clear of how to be in relationships or approach relationships. Now, I was in a relationship for 12 years consistently, live in, so I could definitely be in one. And so I think, being able to navigate that daily thing with someone, my aunt had said, oh, just find somebody that doesn't irritate you as much. Ma'am, what? Why would you tell me that?
They've been giving you the bottom of the barrel advice. I swear. My
Yo,
mother was like who like you. That's all you got? Like who like you? You don't got nothing else for
like,
me?
what is this? What am I supposed to do with this? Like, what?
This
Right.
advice is
So,
horrible.
right. And I realized, right, like that the women in my life were really hard, which is why they're not, I think, in relationships now, but they've had hard things happen. Like, imagine your husband being murdered by your father, which was one of
Mm.
my aunt's stories. And then, another one being, murdered in a robbery, like being robbed and murdered. And then another one dying of alcoholism. Some of them were abusive. So there was just a lot of things that I found out later on. And so I think, the unconscious kind of like messaging that came to me about relationships was really rooted in like their trauma. And so I'm like, y'all fucked the bitch up when it came
Mhm.
to that because I didn't know how to manage it. And so I think, I've had to learn, learning yourself, learning what you need and how you communicate that as I've gotten older has been really important. But definitely in intimate partner relationships. Now, friendships and all that things, big people. Like my aunt her house, it was open. Anybody wanted food, people would come by, like friends or whatever. So I think I'm big on community because of how I've seen like, my family just show up and people want to be part of our family because we fun and all this other stuff. So that's really, I'll leave it at that.
Okay. I appreciate you sharing that, Kim. Thank you. We're getting intimate now. We're getting
Sorry, that was his
vulnerable.
reaction
Come
though, friend.
on.
That had to sting a
Yo,
little
he
bit.
really was like, I
Like,
was like,
whoa,
what?
sir.
We're cursed? You thought you were next? I said, "Oh shit,
He's like, I got to get
let
up
me
out
get
of here, yo.
yo." And the sad part is that like you could have said the flip side could have been like, you know what? I'm the last, and so I got to be here to take care of these women and my babies. You took the
Mm.
other part, so what the fuck?
My man said, "Gotta say myself. Gotta go."
Oh,
Also, I
he
always
was like, no,
wonder.
no, he was like, fuck them kids, okay?
He said, "Damn, that's crazy."
Yo, I said, wait,
I
what?
think the bad
You
thing is
know,
like, why you can't just leave your mother and still see you? Like, that's what I just be thinking. Like, nigga, did you have to
you
leave me
can't
too? Maybe
whole
she was
parent getting
cursed.
you on the
Leave
weekends,
her.
my dude.
Right. Like, still come get me on the weekend. Come through. If
Right,
they curse, that mean I'm cursed. Get me up out
right.
of here. Save me. Help me.
He was like, I'm next. The monkey on his back, he gotta go.
He
Okay.
said,
All
"Whoop,
right.
see y'all later."
He really
Yikes.
was like, fuck all y'all. I'm out.
I'll
That's it.
explain to my baby later.
But also look at us black people laughing at trauma. My bad, friend. I was trying to make no joke. I'm just
No, this shit was funny. I was
But this
like,
is how we handle life. If we
cursed?
don't laugh, y'all, how much crime will
What
we
do
be
you mean
doing?
cursed? What is But think about it. I mean, like, if you lose your contemporaries, like Anisha, me, you, and Chanel,
Yeah.
you always say you don't want to be the last one to go. It's different, right? Like, if you lose your friends, like your family members, the men, it was four of y'all. And
Right.
then, then it's just you.
That's
What does
hard.
that look like or feel like?
Right. Looking
Right?
left,
Like,
looking
so
right.
I
Like
think,
now.
I don't got
right,
no
like my
support.
people not here. Right. My brother-in-laws, all of them are gone.
Right.
I mean, I'm not gonna say he's superstitious. He kind of was, but nigga, what?
He
He's
said
like,
deductive reasoning,
I
honey.
right.
Like-
He said, "Man down, 1, 2, 3, about to be me doing the round. Gotta go right now."
This is not
For
superstition. This
real.
is science. This is science. He's like, no. One
He
plus
was
one
like, "And one
over
and one
here.
is
I'm
two,
out.
and two
I'm
and two
out.
is four. I'm
Right.
about to be
Nigga,
10."
I'm four. Right. Wait a minute.
Oh gosh, I can't. I
Yo, he really
cannot.
said that to me, and I was like, "The fuck? That was your story.
Thank
Left
you
it
for your
alone."
honesty, sir.
Who gonna
Oh,
follow
growing up.
that?
I might have to go to another question off of that one. I think
Kim said,
you might have
I'm
took
knocking
it.
him down today, baby.
Kim, I think you might have shut down the shop unless you want to add something, Marquia. I don't know.
No, I mean, like, I can't top that one. Um, no.
Yeah, I don't think my sister having amazing friends I could talk. Yeah, I'm good. I think we're gonna close that one up for you, Kim. You can close up the kitchen on that question right there.
Turn the light
Woo
on.
wee.
We done with that. Mm.
Okay, so now I'm gonna talk about this. How ready are we for romantic connections, right? Okay, so what does being ready for an intimate relationship mean to you? I'm gonna start with you, Markia. What does being ready for an intimate relationship mean to you?
I don't know if anyone's ever ready, right? If you go by the thought process of like, just find you when you're not looking, then like, what does ready look like, right? Like, not to answer the question with the question, but based on that logic.
Maybe.
Right, but based on that logic, right? Like if you find the thing that's supposed to be your thing, and they always like it finds you when you're least suspecting, I guess the answer is that you should be like at a place where you are happy with yourself and the existence of this external person would be a nice to have, but not a necessity. Maybe that's when you're ready.
Okay.
Oh
Maybe.
God, I like that. I like that.
Right? Because I think that that's like, if you think about it, like how many people are like, oh, I just want my person. And like, of course, you could find a person. I mean, they're everywhere. Like
Shit,
the
they in the
dating,
trash.
right?
They everywhere.
They're literally
Okay.
everywhere. So you can find a person, but if you were trying to find like your person or like a healthy thing, I think there is something to the whole. And I don't necessarily believe like you have to be like 100% healed or all that other stuff, but there is something to like having your own shit going on that this person is supposed to complement what you have going on, but not be the center of what you have going on. So I think when you're in that space in life, I think that that's probably when you're most ready because you
Mhm.
can look at it from a more realistic and like, healthy standpoint of like, okay, like we're doing this thing when we do these things together, but I also have my own things when I'm not with you because obsession is not healthy. Look at
No,
all the
Hello,
Lifetime movies.
baby. Don't be
no
obsessed.
obsession.
I love it.
So
Hmm.
yes.
I like the question, and I'm going to answer it, and then I would like to start with something. I don't think that um
What was
a
that,
lot of
Marquia?
people are ready for intimate relationships because they're carrying the stuff from previous relationships.
Okay.
Yes.
And I think that a lot of us live in the past about things. And so
Mhm.
Yes.
sometimes it's really hard to move on for a new intimate relationship because this person may do something that reminds you of that past one. And now you're like, oh shit,
Mm-hmm.
that's what this motherfucker doing. Oh, goddamn. And so
Yep.
I think a lot of women, men too, right? Like they're comparing the new to the old. They're
Yep.
constantly looking for things like people are looking for the things to make them say no or not be right interested in a relationship or like, oh, this is what that man did to me before. I ain't fucking with you. And
Right.
so I think being ready means being vulnerable, right? And open, right? Like not being a dummy,
Okay.
Right,
okay?
Don't
right.
be stupid.
Not being boo boo the fool, but being ready means like, okay, this is what I want. I'm willing to compromise some things because when you're not out of relationship for too long, everything irritates you. And so, where is that line for you to go, okay, here's where I need to get ready, right? Like maybe around how I communicate, or maybe not reading body language is something, or constantly kind of like looking for things, but just like taking it as it is. And if it don't work for me, let me go, right? Like just putting a lot of energy into and reading the signs or the unconscious things, and constantly searching for the things that are wrong, right? Like,
Right.
I think being ready for an intimate relationship can also mean just like, here's what I want, like being clear about your desires and your needs. Like, you know what? I might want to tie you up and spank you. What's good? You into that? Or like, I like to go out and eat, at restaurants, a little dance. Like, I like to go dancing. So many people I've heard women say, my man or whatever, whoever I date, they don't want to go dancing. I like to go dancing. Like, what the things that are like really important to you, and knowing how you communicate that so that you can get it.
Right. Because Kim gonna dance, honey.
I listen. When I look at this question, I think about we're in the age of lists. Everybody got a list, right? Everybody talking about this is on my list, no to this person got to have this person got to have that. And so if you really are ready for an intimate relationship and you have a list, do you have those same things that you're asking for? Right? Like, are you being real about those things? Do you have unrealistic expectations of people? Because do you have those same expectations of yourself? I think about, again, are you open? Are you ready to compromise? Because that's a big part of being in an intimate partner relationship, that you're going to have to compromise because you're asking somebody to share your life. You asking someone to be a part of a life that you've already made for yourself. Are you ready for some flexibility? Are you ready to not be too rigid? Right? Are you okay with some change? And I think that when people are really asked those things, I don't know if they're always ready. So if you want to be in an intimate partner relationship, I think you got to take some time to do some personal work on yourself and some real assessment of, well, who am I? Right? And what makes me happy? And am I willing to ask for that thing? Because if you're not willing to ask people for what you want, you'll never get it. And then you'll always be mad at somebody when you should actually be mad at yourself. So I think, Kim, when you talked about like, are you able to talk about what your needs are and your wants, that becomes really important to be in an intimate relationship. But I think that compromise thing is so huge, right? All I do is listen to people talk all day. And sometimes it's just like, I want this, I want this, I want this. But what are you willing to give? And what ways are you willing to change? If you're gonna always stick to your guns, then maybe you're not ready to be with somebody else and share life with somebody else. So I think those things become really important when you're looking to be ready for an intimate partner. Because that's serious work. I mean, even if you're not looking for a life partner, it's still serious work to share your life with somebody in some way.
All right. A motherfucker don't put the toilet seat down. You go ham. You're like, oh
Mhm.
shit.
Tired
Like,
of falling in this shit in the middle of the night.
Like
you're
every
like,
time
okay.
Audrey come home, you ain't locked the door. You ain't locked. I don't ever lock the door. It's a slam lock, sir. What you want from me? Like, what do you want? Why do we keep going over the same thing? I'm not getting it. I don't know why I've grown up with slim locks. I may not ever lock the door by myself. I don't know, other than at night before I go to sleep. So like, when you gonna be okay with that? This is who you share your life with, honey. I'm sorry. But yeah, I think, how do you get ready? I think you got to work on yourself. I think that's the biggest part, right? Like, are you working on you? Are you working to be ready to let somebody in and be understanding of all the things that come with people? Because
And I
nobody's gonna be
think
perfect.
patient and
Patience.
patient. Because when mistakes get made, you like done. They're
Hmm.
done.
It's
All you
easy,
gotta do is show me once. You're like, well, damn.
and
Okay,
in
I
this
don't
day and
know you.
age,
We
yeah.
haven't talked enough to know like what the wrongs or the landmines are. How will I know I've done something?
And in this day and age, everybody believes they have options.
Up.
So people quick to jump ship because, girl, I could just go find somebody else. Boy, I could just go find somebody else.
I gotta say, I'm hearing it's not that easy, y'all. I'm gonna just put it
Right.
out there. Before
Because
you jump
there's
shit, learn how to work on some shit.
because that dating pool is looking real. Watch out.
That's just looking crazy in these streets.
Watch out.
Mm.
So I think, well, not last but not least, but I think we also have to talk about boundaries and accountability because that has to be a part of any relationship. And so I know we always talking about how do you set the boundary, but I think it's better for us to talk about how do you hold yourself accountable? when things go wrong in a relationship. Because I think that that has to be a part of it. How are we looking at ourselves and what part we playing?
Sometimes you gotta say sorry. I know people don't like to do that. And not like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry if you felt.
Oh, not
Mm-mm.
the if you felt.
Don't do that, because that's not an apology, sweetheart. There are some times when you gotta be like, hey, listen, I may have crashed out today. My bad. These are the things that I'm going to do. Because I also like to come up with action steps and be like, well, this is what I'm doing to work on it so that doesn't happen again, right? Because again, back to the thing, we don't want to keep circling around the same thing over and over again if we can try to work through and move past it. So sometimes you are the problem, myself included. And it sucks when you have to admit it and be like, damn, I was terrible today. But one, there's something to being able to acknowledge that and call yourself on your own stuff. And if you care enough about the other person, friend or otherwise, you obviously don't want to continue to hurt them, right? You don't want to continue to do the thing that is maybe screwed up within you. So sometimes you got to take a look in the mirror and be like, wow, today I sucked. And hey, sometimes every day ain't gonna be a win. But as long
No,
as you
fuck
can,
no.
you know, sit with yourself and be like, okay, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done this. Like, case in point, we was in New Orleans and I had an
Oh,
attitude, baby. I
oh,
was
oh,
mad. My feet was hurting and Kim was just trying to be nice. And I was like, leave me alone. Like, it
oh,
was very, like, it was not pretty. And I
I
came
was
back
just
to
looking at her
her.
like, all right, what you want me to do?
And I came back to her and I was like, I'm sorry. I should not have talked to you that way. I was aggravated. I was frustrated. That was not your problem. And that was not appropriate.
Her pinky toe was in distress. I get it. You like, yo, that little throbbing toe will take you down all the way down emotionally and mentally.
It's the chronic pain. Like it really was like just like, oh my God, my foot has been hurting forever. And like getting out of the Beyonce concert, trying to find our way home. Oh, it was just so much. So again, there were external factors that made me have a not pleasant reaction. I was dead ass wrong. And I apologized. So, and I'm also not a person that believes just because you say you're sorry, somebody got to forgive you in the moment. That's not how that works.
That
I
part.
like that. I like that.
That
Sometimes
is not
people
how
need
Actions
that
more
over
works.
time.
words. Yeah.
I think
So,
It's
mm,
interesting. God, Woody.
no, I was just gonna say I think it's interesting because I try to ask myself like what part did I play in this? Whatever the issue is, well, what part is my part? Before I go telling you what your part is, because people always quick to tell somebody what they did, I
right.
try and figure out, well, what part is mine? What part do I need to hold? And do I start the conversation with that? And I try to say, well, you know what? I thought about it and I realized that I did this, and that. And then, I let the other person go. Now, let me be clear, the other person may never hold themselves accountable in this whole
Absolutely.
conversation. So then I might have to point out, well, you did say this and that was hurtful. So sometimes you got to do that whole thing, but I do think it's good for us to learn how to hold ourselves accountable before we go, pointing fingers at people. Because what they say, you point a finger at somebody, two gonna get pointed back at you. So I think for me now, I try to see the part that I played, because it's not always one person's fault. It can't be. That's just not life. But people do have outbursts. And sometimes you had nothing to do with it. You might have triggered them not knowing, right? So, but they need to come back and kind of deal with that. But I'm trying to do much better at being accountable. Because I think I don't want to do the thing like when I was a kid, when shit would happen and people would just push it under the rug. And I remember how that felt. And I'll never forget how that felt. Because I think as a kid, no one really cared about what we felt and what we thought. And they treated
Mhm.
us as such. So I never want to treat other people like that because I know what that feeling is like. So I try my
Yeah.
best to hold myself accountable. But I do know for sure I have people in my life who really struggle with holding themselves accountable. And I struggle with them real bad.
Yeah. I think I love this, and I'm going to take a different approach because I do know I have sometimes I have an issue with saying sorry, and that's because my mother never said sorry, and she told me she don't have nothing to ever say sorry for.
God
And
damn.
Mhm.
so when you grow up around people like that, because that's not just my mother, got a couple of aunts, got a couple of cousins, you're like, well, damn. Let me tell you, your heart race, when you have to say sorry, it feels physically, you feel it in your body. because it
Yeah.
takes you back to that moment where you were wrong and they never said sorry. And so to be put in that position, that shit is mental. It's
Mm.
really like mental and physical because a lot of people have difficulty um doing it because one, it's never been done to them. So right, like it wasn't modeled for them. But also I think just like, you're hardwired to like not be accountable or to point the finger because you don't want to be wrong.
Right.
It fits your narrative when someone is wrong and you're not. Well, they did this and this, and this, and that's how I did that. You're like,
Mm-hmm.
well, damn. So it is hard because I think that's what's been modeled for people. Like we just said, people don't say sorry, whatever. And that's how we grew up. And I think, right, like normalizing it, like is going to be more helpful for us as adults, right? And also just saying sorry is not enough, right? Like, here's what I would like to do going forward. Like, what are you going to do to change it, right? Like, to change behavior. Because I think, when something happened, it was just say sorry, like, and that was the end of it, and that was it. Like, you could go on now. Like, life is good. Saying
Right.
sorry, what? Those are just words. What if you did that shit again? You
Mm-hmm.
know?
Change behavior.
So, right, like, how do you say, hey, going forward, I think, can we talk about it and do this, right? Like, how, Anisha, when we talked about my raised voice and you was like, I know you're not yelling at me. And I'm like, bitch, that's my tone. When I get hyped up, my tone go up. It's
It
not
feels like
yelling,
you're
it's just,
screaming at me.
and I was like, okay. And she's
Nah.
like, I know you're not screaming, but it feels like it. Well, what you want me to do with that?
Mhm.
All right, well, let's talk about this. So it's like, all right, let's come up with the word, or let's do the thing, right? Because words don't mean anything like actions do. Like, I'm not, if I say sorry and keep doing it, what the fuck was the point of me saying sorry?
Right. You could have kept
Right.
it.
You got to
Right.
take it to that next level. But holding yourself accountable and admitting when you're wrong is really, I think, hard for people who've experienced like
Others
that
not being able to do
lack
that for
of,
them. Yeah.
yeah, that lack
Hmm.
of, and that should come from childhood. You're like, damn. You're like, but they wrong. You're like, no, they not. You're like, God
Mhm.
damn. Like, oh
I
shit.
I had a client a long time ago. She said to me, she's like, Anisha, I've never had to say I'm sorry because I've tried to do everything right in my life, so I wouldn't have to.
It's
Miserable.
So I
avoidance,
was like,
like for
wow. But think
Miserable
punishment,
about
for
that,
existence.
right? Think
judgment,
about
right?
how you have to be so much in your head that you're trying to do everything right, that you can never do so that you never do something wrong, so that you would have to apologize for it. I was like, God damn, that's a hard
That's
life.
crazy. That's avoiding punishment because that punishment be harsh, right? The body keeps the score, right? Like we're not even thinking about like how do we move forward in a relationship. We're thinking about what happened before.
Yeah.
Living in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the
Mm.
example that we have, right? The past, right? So either we're gonna continue with that same pattern, or we're gonna figure out how to break it.
Right.
But I think people have to have a desire, you know, to want things to change in their life, right?
And change is
If you,
uncomfortable.
it's
And people
so
don't want to be
uncomfortable,
uncomfortable.
and it is going to happen whether you like it or not. And so I think that when you're asking yourself, are you ready? I think people got to think about the last relationship they've been in, the relationships that they're in now. How would I would like those relationships to be better?
Right.
Right. So when I'm trying to get into a new one, am I thinking about that as I go forward? Am I thinking about some of the possible mistakes that I've made? Right. And how do I do something different? So I
What's
think,
the shit you enabled and allowed? Knowing better, you shouldn't have allowed it.
yeah, I think we just got to be more accountable and more real about what our shit is. Because I think by a certain age, you should know what your shit is. But I know you don't always. Let me be clear, because I fucking talk to people every day. But if there's a part of me that feels like, yo, by 50, somebody should have told you something. Or did you just fucking not hear nothing people said to you your whole life, right? Like,
Well, I will say to you this.
Wait, no, no,
Look at the
no. I
president.
disagree. Right.
Look at the
Not
current
Trump.
president. But
Not
I'm just
not
saying, right?
DJT.
But you know what I mean? Like, look at the current president.
no,
Not
but
self-aware at all.
those are, yeah, but those are, these are outliers, right? Like, I just think about some everyday people, right? If the same things keep coming up in all your relationships, it can't be everybody else, right? Like, you got to look at yourself at some point and figure out
But
what
that's
part do you
assuming
play
that
in this.
that person is like
self-aware, interested in being
Right,
better.
right. Listen, it's communities of people that's it. These the same motherfuckers. They act the same way. They just echo chamber. You didn't get into another environment that showed you different. If the same thing keeps happening to everybody, because that's how y'all all are socialized. Like when I think about my family in South Carolina, they all like that. You
Mm,
know, there's nobody doing anything different.
But that doesn't mean you can't step away from that, right? Like you can make a decision to step away, and we can say that most
Where
won't,
you gonna
but you
go?
can.
But where can you go?
I can get out the loop. People be in dysfunctional families all the fucking
but
time and
you're
get out the
saying it
loop.
from a perspective of a person that wants to grow or is not afraid to do that, right? Like some people are just content with living in a bubble where everybody just acquiescing to their fuckery, for lack of a better word, right? Like if they're not around people that are going to challenge them, or if they don't have the wherewithal, the sense, the energy, the desire to go outside of their comfort zone to want better for themselves or to be like, hey, this is a little screwed up and maybe I should work on it. They're gonna choose to, like him said, surround themselves and be in a vacuum of people that do the same shit. So like they have the choice, but are they strong enough, whether mentally, emotionally, what have you, to choose otherwise for themselves?
And that's
Some people don't want to be
why
better.
I strongly believe if nothing changes, nothing changes. And so that's a choice. That's definitely a choice that you don't want to go outside, you don't want to try anything new, you want to, but don't expect there to be a different outcome then. If
Right.
you want a different outcome, you have to do a different thing. And that's just what life is about. So
A lot of people are missing the keys and the tools, and they never get them because nobody around them has them and gave it to them. And if they've never left a place, great example, right? In my family, we're loud talkers, and we get up, and we're not interested in hearing what you guys say. If you don't want to keep talking, I could get up and leave. I don't care no more. Like I'm gonna just go somewhere else, right? Like I learned once I got into work or school, whatever, that was rude. It's not rude. It's just what I was used to, what I've grown up with. And so if it's normalized, how is it bad?
Right.
Unless, right, if it makes me feel bad, that's different because we've been conditioned to suppress our feelings. We got a lot of things, I think, for, Black women. We've been conditioned to suppress all the things. So if we've been pushing it down, how do we have the wherewithal to leave it or to try and fix it or to try and get away from it? That's just what this is, right? Like this is my family or this is my friend circle, or this is whoever, and this is, what it is.
I don't know. I'm sitting here listening to y'all and I'm trying to figure out, are we acting as if change can't happen?
I
I
think you
think
got
some
your
people, yeah,
therapist hat on, and I think and I think where you are, like we are privileged where we've grown up, because I can tell you that there are a lot of people that don't have what we've had access to, and
hmm
they're
Okay.
stuck generationally and all of that. So I'm not saying that change isn't possible. I'm telling you, what is the change agent if there's
it's like
nothing there
the
for you?
it's like that mind trick thing, like where if you tell a person that they can only live in this little square box and that's all that they have, they believe that until they're introduced to something else. But what have they been told, right? Like look at the people that you're friends with on Facebook. I'm not even trying to be funny, because some of the shit I see from people that I went to high school with, I'm like, you still on this? Like, and you have access to seeing other mindsets, but it's scary to you, or it feels so foreign that you're like, no, it's not possible for me. Like some people, that's the conditioning thing, right? Like people have been told that they can't do, or it's stupid if you do XYZ thing differently. So some people, to your point, yes, it is a choice. It like change is possible, but for some people, I don't think they believe it's possible for them for whatever reason, whether they believe they're not worthy, whether they've been told that, their parents have conditioned them however way, or they had some other experience, or they failed really bad in some way. Some people are just committed to their comfort. Some
Mm.
people just are,
Well,
no
good
matter how
luck to those
dysfunctional and
people.
terrible. No, I agree.
Yeah, listen, they out and about, they abound, they everywhere. Okay.
I hope that I don't run into them
Mm.
unless they're on my couch. Other than that, not interested in being in relationship with them. So
Also, one more thing, right? Like they say, what's the age in your mind that you are? Some people are stuck at a particular age in their life due to
Right.
trauma, life, whatever, and they'll never grow out of it. You're like, God damn, God damn. And they can't get rights. It's a lot of them. A lot of
Hmm.
families are taking care of them too. Shit.
well, I will say to the people who are listening to this, we hope that you are not that person. and that you try your best to be different if that's what you feel like you need. And I think for me, as we wind down this episode, um, I'm feeling y'all got me feeling real low. Like change is not possible. Like
It
it's
is.
It
feeling rough
is.
But
We didn't say it's not possible,
environment, the
right?
environment, like and think about the 80-20 rule. It's not that many people. The 20% of people, whatever, or change, the 80% won't.
Well, before we get into the tools and the tips,
She gonna
to
depress the
everybody's
shit
out here
down.
listening, ask yourself if you are listening to us right now, am I showing up as my best self in my relationship? Okay.
Are you willing to change? God damn it.
Are you willing to
Goddamn.
make the proper changes to show up as your best self? Not just as yourself, but your best self. That's what we are asking from
Do
y'all.
you have the support, the cheerleaders to help you, stay the course?
And
Get your
if you
people.
don't, are you willing to find them? And if
Yes.
you can't find them, are you willing to pay them? Go see a
Hello.
therapist. Find
Go get you
somebody
some
to help.
therapy.
Okay. Something got to move. Okay. So we're gonna
Yes.
give y'all some tools and some tips to be in a healthy relationship. But you know what? If
Marquia,
you
we broke Ednesha today. We broke her.
y'all didn't broke me. Y'all didn't broke me. I'm sad. Y'all got me sad.
Wait,
Y'all
why
like
are
you
you
don't understand, Anisha.
I'm looking at her face.
It's
why are
rough
you sad?
because these are the type of people y'all talking to always got a girlfriend, a boyfriend, or spouse. They jacking somebody over. I swear they stressing somebody out. Somebody is on the brink messing with them. Or
Yes.
they in a relationship
People
with somebody
attracted to
just like
drama.
them.
Attracted to
It's
drama.
a
That looks
mess.
familiar. Buttermilk biscuits. That's all I'll say.
All right. So my first tool, I'm gonna need y'all to self-reflect. Okay, we're gonna start there. To all y'all that's listening, I need y'all to self-reflect. So I'm gonna give y'all 2 prompts to self-reflect.
You are
Okay.
very upset. I'm so sorry.
Ah, ah.
I am extremely angry inside. No, anger is the secondary emotion. I am sad and disappointed. That's what I am. So my first prompt is, what qualities do I bring to be in a healthy relationship? Okay, y'all. I need y'all to start thinking about what do I bring to the table?
Her
And
tone changed.
listen,
Damn.
She's upset. Sorry. Just trying to give a different perspective, I promise.
and what are my non-negotiables in relationships and why? I need y'all to start doing the work before y'all start jumping into relationships with people. If you out there on a dating app, if you on Bumble looking for friends, if you on Bumble looking for a date, do some self-reflection, please, before you go fuck up somebody. Like, no, I'm just playing. No, but do some self-reflection.
No,
I'm
but no,
serious.
that's fair. That's fair though. You were onto
Hello.
something. She's right about that. Don't do that.
Don't do that. Okay. And I got one more, and then I'm gonna let the ladies go ahead and go.
Okay, all
Okay.
right, all right. Ah,
There's a little checklist I want you to have. Okay. I want you to ask yourself, am I able to communicate openly? Okay. That's got to be on your checklist. Ain't nobody trying to be in a relationship with you if you can't communicate. Okay. Is there mutual respect and trust? If you don't respect me and if I don't feel like I can trust you, I probably don't want to be in a relationship with you. So you got to ask yourself that. And do I feel safe and supported in a when I'm in relationships? And if I'm not, if I don't feel safe and supported, what's going on with me? What's going on with me? What's going on with the people I'm choosing, maybe? What do I need to feel safe and supported? Okay, y'all. We need some self-reflection that needs to go on
ah,
before you
oh.
out here just fucking with people. Okay, I'm gonna take a deep breath and somebody can say,
Yes. Okay,
"Ooh,
friend. All right.
Woosah.
I might have
Woosah.
dropped it."
Yeah.
Ooh,
I think there's something to checking in with yourself and just saying like, am I good in this situation? Am I, first and foremost, are you good? Right? Like, sit with yourself. Are you good? Because if you're not, it's gonna bleed out into all the areas of your life, right? So that's work relationships, that's friendships, that's, romantic relationships. So sit with yourself and do that first initial assessment with yourself. And then ask, am I prepared to be in this relationship in this way, right? How am I handling the conflicts? What's my emotional availability looking like? Am
mm,
I am I prepared to be in this space? And sometimes it looks different. Sometimes you got to be like, listen, I'm in a shitty spot right now. And like, I might be insufferable for a couple weeks. You cool with that? And if they're like, I can't do that, you may have to take a break. You may have to, reassess what that looked like.
Let's go with some practical tips, right? Let's give you some, this is making me laugh. I'm sorry. So we want to use like I statements, right, to express our needs. Like, I feel whatever the emotion is, like Ednesha says, sad or angry, when this situation happens, right? Like letting people know the impact of um their words or their behavior on you, so they can know how you feel about it, right? I think that's most important. Sometimes we don't say things, we just let shit slide because we don't want to get into it. But you got to advocate for yourself. And
Come
practice
on.
active listening, right? Like listen to understand and not just respond. A lot of times when people in conflict, they just waiting for you to finish so they could go off.
Mm.
And
All
you're
the
not
time.
really listening to what somebody is saying about it. Like,
They be like, what's
let me tell you
my
what I
comeback? My
motherfucking hate.
comeback.
Somebody say something and now you go off to another thing about you like, well, bitch, we talking about this topic. How you jumping off to something else
And
that
another
I
thing.
did? But like you talking about a completely different topic
You're
about
not
something that I
fighting fair.
did.
You're not fighting fair. Stay focused
You're
on
like,
the
where we
issue.
at?
When that shit
I'm
happened, you
talking
should
about
have said something. Don't wait for me to say some
right.
shit about my
Woof.
shit.
So now
Oh,
you
you want to
gotta
talk about
say
your shit?
that's what happened. Yo,
Triggered. I'm triggered.
let me tell you something. That is one of the worst ways that people get fight. You like, wait a minute. I'm talking about this thing because I'm speaking of now. You talking about something 3 days ago. What's going on? We talking about to
Right.
like
So you've been
deflect.
holding this in the chamber for all this time. Oh,
Not you
anyway.
deflecting, and now we arguing about some shit that and the thing I want to talk about is gone because
Right.
you
Stop being a
mad.
punk and learn how to advocate for yourself. Don't wait for
All
me to
right,
advocate for myself, and then
all
you want to throw your
right.
shit in here.
Tell them, friend. Okay, pump
But
it
what if
up.
they
Okay.
can't change? Anyway, continue.
They
Next.
may not be right for me. You better get the fuck out of Dodge, yo. Y'all better stop running
Goddamn,
away from these relationships.
goddamn. And lastly, set the clear boundaries. Be specific about what you need. Like we're giving you examples. Write them shits down. You gotta know. Like, listen, don't call me after this time. That's a boundary. You're not
Right.
picking up nobody's phone. Don't ask me for no money. That's a boundary. You know. No, you can't sleep on my couch. You
No.
better go dick somebody else down because you're homosexual. I don't know, whatever,
Oh Lord Jesus.
Because the toothbrush show up, you're like, where that came from? Now you got a drawer. Now you in the closet. Wait a
I'm
minute.
not giving you $10 to go on FanDuel and get a parlay going.
Hell no. FanDuel is ruining the community. That's what I'm gonna
DraftKings.
say.
Mm, mm, mm.
All of that.
I did bet
And then
$20 last week and I almost won $92,000. Four parts of my parlay hit. I'm just gonna put it
of how
out.
many? Of how
A
many?
five, 4 out of 5 hit. If I would have hit that last one,
Dang.
Uh,
I'd have had 92,000.
this is what they
Dang.
be selling y'all. This is how this shit go. This is
This
how
is the new
motherfuckers get
crack in the
hooked.
black community.
Y'all are watching addiction in real time. $20 in a dream.
I'm very
Yeah.
careful. I'm very careful. I don't bet
We
more than
hear
like
you.
$50.
We hear you. That's what you said in the last one. We're gonna tally it up at the end of 2025. How much did you pay versus how much you won? Then we see.
Oh Lord.
You know. And then lastly, let's recommend some resources. Like there's a great book by Nedra Glover Tawwab, Set Boundaries, Find Peace. I think so many of us, we don't know how to set boundaries. And, if you don't know where to start, there's plenty of resources out there, and that's one of them. And then you got some apps for the folks that don't like to read. You got your phone in your hand. Here you go. Apps like BetterHelp or Headspace for mental health support. It can be really scary to set boundaries with people
Come
that you
on.
love because again, fear of their
Them
reaction or
reactions, baby.
judgment, you know, because let you tell a motherfucker no, you don't say no to me.
Right. What you mean
Ah,
no?
And
right.
I'm gonna tell you, as a therapist, that's probably the number one thing that most therapists help people with is setting boundaries, y'all. Like that's one of the hardest things that people have issues with, especially Black and brown people. I want to be clear about that because we were never taught how to set boundaries. So we just out here flailing, just drowning and trying to set a boundary with
Like,
somebody.
okay, what do I do? How do I say it? You're like,
I can't
damn,
tell that person that. Why you can't? What
that's
they
my mama. That's my grandma. You're like,
okay?
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Tell her stop calling you name. Listen, I'm gonna tell you, my stepfather, I used to see him. He used to be like, "Hey, you look like you gained some weight. What the fuck is that?" The first thing you say, I said, "Mom, I'm gonna spaz on him one day. I'm telling you now. You better tell him. Don't be talking to me." But I had to set a boundary like, hey, Al, I don't like it when you say things like that to me. Like, I don't know if you know, but that's not a compliment. Like, you coming off like real weird and trash. And I won't talk to you, I promise. Even though you've been with my mother for 20 years. I don't care. I didn't say that part. But yeah.
Also, for women out there, women of a certain age, stop letting them people ask you when you're gonna have kids. Tell them leave, motherfuckers leave you alone. Please.
Okay, y'all. We went off today. I'm gonna need to drink some water. I'm trying to have like a dry January, February, March. So I'm gonna get some water after this. I'm feeling all hot inside.
Yeah.
All right, Marquia, take us out.
Thank you, as always, for listening to us talk on the Black Woman Behold podcast. We hope that this was as enjoyable for you as it was for us. As always, you can find us on social media at Black Woman Behold. That is the handle. You can find us at the website, blackwomanbehold.com. Sign up for the newsletter. Keep up to date. Obviously, you're listening to this podcast, but like share it with a friend and get some more listeners out there so y'all can talk about this and reflect on your own relationships and your willingness to change or lack thereof. So thanks as always for tuning in.
All
And we'll
right,
see y'all
y'all.
next time.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Black Woman Behold podcast. If you want to keep up with what we're doing, you can find us on Instagram at Black Woman Behold, on Facebook at Black Woman Behold. You can even go to our website, blackwomanbehold.com, where you can join our mailing list and you can find out what we're doing as far as events, where we'll be, if we're vending. You can also get a heads up on any information about upcoming podcasts and any product releases we're having. We appreciate you, sis. We'll see you next time.